Math 76, Lesson 7, Linear Measure. So this is going to be all about using a ruler. So, let's just go straight to my practice lines. So, I've got two groups of lines here. One group is going to be in English measure, the other group is going to be in metric measure. So English measure, we're going to be measuring these lines in inches. So, and your problems will clearly tell you which one they want you to use, and I believe most of the problems in the book already have a ruler sectioned off on your page to help you out with these. So all I do is I take my ruler and I bring it up to the line, and notice when I bring my ruler up to the line, I'm not bringing the edge of my ruler to the line, I'm bringing the 0 mark, right? So I'm going to use the 0 mark, I'm not going to use the edge of my ruler. So I can take the 0 mark, bring it right up to the edge of the line, and I see that this line is 1 inch, or sorry, not 1 inch, it's 1 inch and then some long. So the question is, how do I measure this extra distance here? Well, that's where my knowledge of fractions comes in. So if you notice this line on this ruler, let's zoom in and we'll adjust our focus. There we go. So you notice this line on my ruler is slightly longer than all the others. And we see that what it does is it separates the distance between the 1 and the 2 into 2 equal parts. So from here, this distance from here to here is the same as the distance from here to here. If we remember what we know from fractions, that means I have 2 halves, and of the halves I'm using 1. So this is 1 and 1/2 inches. Now let's go to the next line. So again, I'm going to take my ruler, line it up right on the 0 mark, and then I'm going to set it up there. So I see I have, I see I have 1 inch, 2 inch, and then I've got some extra. And what may be a little hard to see on my ruler, since it's a little old and worn, is the number of tick marks that it covers. So here it covers this section, right? So if we count in blocks of 2, I've got 1, 2, 3, 4 equal sections on the inch, or this would be the 1/4 mark. So this is 1/4. So I have 2 inches and 1/4 of an inch. So that's 2 1/4 inches. All right, now the last one, we'll look down here at this one, and we notice that this one is smaller than an inch, right? And this one stops right on this line right here. So, and it seems to be using these single increments, right? Because I've got one of those single spaces left over. So I go ahead and count the total number of spaces. I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 spaces. And of those 8 spaces, I'm using 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So that means this is 7/8 of 1 inch. So this is 7/8 of an inch. That's how long that line is. Now we're going to talk about metric measure. All right, so if you take your ruler and you flip it over, you'll either see centimeters or millimeters. Mine has centimeters on it. All right, and then we go over to these lines. Now, centimeter is a metric unit of measure. 1 centimeter is this big. If you look across, 2 centimeters is a little bit less than an inch. Or you can see that 1 inch is about 2.5 centimeters, give or take. And we'll go over more exact measurements for that later in the year. But we see that 1 centimeter is from here to here. So let's go ahead and measure this line. And I see I've got 2 whole centimeters. So this is a 2 centimeter line. Now what you also notice is that if you look at the distances here, I've got each centimeter is broken into 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 pieces. Each one of those little pieces is called a millimeter. And this is also a measure of unit. So from there to there is 1 millimeter, a very, very small measure of unit. So what we see here is that 1 centimeter is equal to 10 millimeters. So if I had to take this line, this 2 centimeter line, and I had to guess how many millimeters it would be, then I could just take this knowledge that I have here and know that all I have to do is take the number 2, multiply it by 10, and that tells me how many millimeters I have. So this 2 centimeter line is also equal to 20 millimeters. Now, with that knowledge, I'm going to measure this bottom line in millimeters, right? So I'll line this 0 up, and then I'll go ahead. I see I've got 10, 20, 30, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 35 millimeters. So this line is 35 millimeters long, or I could say it is 3. And let's see here. If I line this back up and I look at the centimeters, this seems to be right in the middle. And I see I've got 5 on this side and then 5 on that side. So that's 3 1/2 centimeters. Okay. Well, that's it for linear measure. If you guys have any questions, let me know on the school's website, and I will see you in class.